It was a rainy Wednesday afternoon when Emily walked into the local coffee shop, her long brown hair damp from the weather, and her expression heavy with the weight of the past few weeks. She had just ended a 3-year relationship with her boyfriend, Adam. What began as a fairy tale romance had slowly unraveled into a routine of arguments, emotional distance, and ultimately, heartbreak. Emily didn't know if it was his fault or hers. Maybe it was both. But the pain of letting go of someone she thought she'd spend forever with was eating her alive. As she waited for her latte, she noticed a familiar figure seated near the back, headphones in, staring out the window like the world had wronged him. It was Jacob, someone she hadn't seen in a while. He was a friend from college, known for his cheerful personality, witty remarks, and contagious laugh. But now, he looked like a ghost of the guy she once knew. Curiosity pulled her toward him. "Jacob," she said gently. He looked up, startled at first, then smiled, though it was the kind of smile that didn't reach his eyes. "Emily. Wow. It's been a while. Mind if I sit?" He gestured to the seat across from him, nodding. "Please." They chatted briefly, awkward at first. Then something broke open. Emily said, "I ended things with Adam last week." Jacob took a deep breath. "Yeah. I just went through a breakup myself. 3 months ago. Still feels like it was yesterday." There was a silence that didn't feel awkward, just real. They were two people, sitting across from each other, sharing invisible scars. As the rain tapped the windows of the coffee shop, they both opened up more. Emily talked about how Adam changed over time. He stopped listening to her. She felt more like a roommate than a girlfriend. Jacob talked about Sarah, the woman he thought he'd marry. She cheated on him with someone she met at her new job. He said he'd never forget the night he found out, how the world went quiet, and then shattered. They both found strange comfort in the fact that they weren't alone in their pain. Over the next few weeks, they met more often. Sometimes intentionally. Sometimes by accident. A quick coffee here. A walk in the park there. Every time they talked, the heaviness in their hearts lifted just a bit more. One night, they ended up on a rooftop, sharing a pizza and watching the city lights blink like stars. Emily laughed for the first time in weeks. "You ever think we were meant to cross paths again because of this?" she asked. Jacob looked at her with quiet sincerity. "Maybe. Or maybe pain just brings people together in ways happiness can't." Emily nodded. Maybe. The emotional wounds were still there. Some days, she still cried. Some nights, Jacob couldn't sleep. But something was changing. One afternoon, they took a drive out of the city, heading nowhere in particular. They played music, rolled down the windows, and let the summer wind fill the car. It felt like healing. It felt like hope. Jacob glanced over at her. "You're smiling." "I guess I am," she said, surprised. And then came the moment neither of them had planned. As the sun began to set and painted the sky in hues of orange and pink, Jacob pulled over near a quiet lake. "I don't want to rush anything," he said, voice low. "But being around you makes things easier. Not just the breakup stuff. Everything. Life." Emily took a moment, then replied, "Same here. I'm not ready for love again. Not yet. But I'm ready for honesty. For friendship. For showing up." And that was how it began, not with a kiss, not with a grand declaration, but with a shared understanding. Over the following months, their bond deepened. They went from coffee shop conversations to road trips. From healing to growing. They celebrated small victories, Jacob getting back into his art, Emily finishing her novel. They supported each other without expecting anything in return. Then, one day something shifted. It was Emily's birthday. Jacob had planned a small dinner, cooked her favorite meal, and even wrote her a letter. When she opened the letter and read his words, about her strength, her light, and how grateful he was to know her, she cried. Not from sadness, but from a warmth she hadn't felt in years. She looked up at him. "Jacob, I think I'm ready now." He didn't say anything right away. He reached across the table, held her hand, and just smiled, this time, fully, with his eyes. They didn't call it love right away. They didn't have to. It was connection. It was trust. It was two people who had been shattered and slowly, gently, helped each other gather the pieces. By the time fall arrived, they had created new memories, ones not built on escape from past pain, but on choosing joy, presence, and companionship. Jacob said one evening, as they sat wrapped in blankets watching old movies, "We both went through difficult love breakups. But maybe it was life's way of bringing us to where we're supposed to be." Emily nodded and leaned into him. Not maybe. Definitely. And in that soft, quiet moment, under the glow of the TV screen, the weight of the past finally lifted, for both of them. Not forgotten, but transformed into the foundation of something real. Not perfect, but beautifully, humanly real.